Making the headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen posts a message of condolence on the passing of his brother Hun Ning, who died of a heart attack on Thursday evening. We take a look back on the life and achievements of Prime Minister Hun Sen's older brother Hun Ning. A man who says he is a medic treating people in Mariupol's Azovstal steel plant makes a video appeal to the Turkish president. Red Bull's Max Verstappen can take another big bite out of Ferrari rival Charles Leclerc's lead in Miami this weekend as Formula One gets ready to rock around its newest venue. And an artist in Nigeria brings virtual reality to old folks' homes, allowing the elderly to listen, watch, and dance to some of their favorite music videos through VR headsets. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Darshana Gauchen. Prime Minister Hun Sen posted a message of condolence on the passing of his brother Hun Ning, who died of a heart attack on Thursday, 5th May. In a message posted by the Prime Minister on his official Facebook page with a photo attached of his phone background showing the Prime Minister standing next to his brother, he wrote, "Brothers have been separated without saying goodbye and talking to each other. Not even one word. This time we will be separated forever and will never be reunited." Prime Minister Hun Sen's brother Hun Ning died at the age of 72 from a heart attack around 6:25 p.m. on Thursday, 5th May. His body will be kept at his home in Kampong Cham City for the funeral rites, and his body will be laid to rest at Wat Sowan Kiriratanak Panampro in Krolak Commune, Kampong Siem District of Kampong Cham Province on Monday, 9th May. Hun Ning was the chairman of the National Assembly's Commission on Interior, National Defense, and Civil Service, and a National Assembly lawmaker representing Kampong Cham Province. Many members of government, civil servants, and members of opposition parties have sent condolences for his passing. The Cambodian People's Party has said that Hun Ning had acted in all ways to serve the interests of society, religion, the king, and the CPP, which the party will remember and make sure to record so that the nation will always remember too. The CPP wrote, "The party would like to record all the heroic deeds and ideals His Excellency Hun Ning left for the nation and the people of Cambodia." On Thursday, 5th May, the chairman of the National Assembly's Commission on Interior and Prime Minister Hun Sen's older brother, Hun Ning, died from a heart attack. Here is a reflection on his life and achievements from EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis.
Hun Ning was born as Hun Long Seng on Sunday, the 2nd of April 1950, in Prem Krau village, Prem Kosna commune, Sang Trang district, Kampong Cham province, to a family of farmers. His father was named Hun Ning and his mother was Dee Pok. He was the second born among 6 children, and he had 3 sisters. He married his wife, Leng Reng Cheng, in 1971 and had 6 children, 3 daughters and 3 sons. As the child of a farmer before 1970, he struggled with his studies at Pem Ko Sna Primary School and continued at Stung Tlan Secondary College. He went to pursue a master's degree in economics and administration in 1997. And also received honorary doctorates from some national and international universities. During the Khmer Rouge between 1970 to 1975, he was living with liberated areas of his homeland, and after the country fell under the genocidal regime of Pol Pot, he joined the army of the Kampuchea United Front for the National Salvation. He was also appointed as the director of Kampong Cham Provincial Department in 1979, the director of Kampong Cham Provincial Planning Department in 1981, the governor of Krok Chama district in 1982, and the governor of Kampong Cham province in 1984. He became governor of Sraling province in 1999 and returned as the governor of Kampong Cham province in 2005. When he retired in 2013, he was nominated and elected as a member of National Assembly for Kampong Cham province and was further elected as a member of National Assembly Standing Committee and the chairman of the National Assembly's Committee on Interior, National Defence of Public Works, positions he remained until his passing. Through his sacrifices for the nation, religion, and the king, he was awarded many medals by the king, with the highest medal in Kingdom of Cambodia being the Chi Topaka class. Throughout Hun Ning's life, especially when he came to lead the Kampong Cham and Svay Ring provinces, he was always engaged in social and humanitarian work under the leadership of the royal government and the Prime Minister Hun Sen. Through his many activities, he gained the respect of the government officials, the armed forces, monks, and citizens. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
The chairman of the National Assembly's Commission on Interior and older brother of Prime Minister Hun Sen, Hun Neng, has passed away on Thursday, 5th May in Kampong Cham province from a heart attack. Since the announcement of his passing, condolence messages from across the country have been pouring in, including from the former president of the Cambodian National Rescue Party, Kem Sokha. Cambodia mourns the loss of Prime Minister Hun Sen's older brother, Hun Neng. Condolence messages from all quarters have been pouring in, including from government officials, civil servants, and opposition party members. The president of the former Cambodia National Rescue Party, Kem Sokha, also sent a message of condolence to Prime Minister Hun Sen on the death of his brother, saying that he prayed for the soul of Hun Neng to go to heaven. Kem Sokha wrote, "My wife and I are deeply saddened to learn that His Excellency Hun Neng, Samdech Tekcho's brother, died of a heart attack this evening, May 5, 2022, at the age of 72. On this sad occasion, my wife and I would like to share the great grief with Samdech Tekcho and his family and dedicate our prayers for the soul of His Excellency Hun Neng to go to heaven." Prime Minister Hun Sen also responded to the message, thanking Kem Sokha for his condolences on the death of Hun Neng. The Prime Minister wrote, "On behalf of the whole family, I would like to thank Your Excellency and Lok Chum Tiu for the condolence letter that Your Excellency and Lok Chum Tiu sent on the occasion of this great loss in my family. Please, Excellencies and Lok Chum Tius, receive the love and affection from me and my family." Hun Neng died at the age of 72 at around 6:25 p.m. on Thursday, 5th May, from a heart attack. His body is currently being kept by his family at his home in Kampong Cham province and will be laid to rest at Wat Sovan Kiri Ratanak Phnom Pro in Kampong Siem district of Kampong Cham province on Monday, 9th May. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations convened a meeting on Friday, 6th May in Phnom Penh to consult on ASEAN humanitarian assistance to Myanmar. The meeting was chaired by the Special Envoy of the ASEAN Chair on Myanmar and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cambodia, Deputy Prime Minister Prak Sokhonn, and the ASEAN Secretary General Dato Limja Khoi, with the participation of officials from all 10 ASEAN member states. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
The Special Envoy of the ASEAN Chair of Myanmar, Deputy Prime Minister Prak Sokhonn, reiterated the need to implement of ASEAN 5-point consensus to help the people of Myanmar. He added that the ASEAN's assistance to Myanmar is needed to support humanitarian activities, as well as the vaccine people against COVID-19. He highlighted the importance of the ASEAN Coordination Centre of the Humanitarian Aid and Disaster Management to implement this work. The chairman of Myanmar Humanitarian Assistance Coordination Team, Kolko Lan, said at opening of the meeting that he thanked Cambodia for its assistance to Myanmar in assisting humanitarian aid, and said that the country was committed to cooperating with ASEAN and achieve the implementation of the ASEAN 5-point consensus as well. ASEAN Secretary General Dede Lim Jock Hoi said that so far the ASEAN has raised more than $15 million from the ASEAN members and partners, which he said has helped support ASEAN disaster response and help provide humanitarian assistance to Myanmar as well. He also thanked the Myanmar government for supporting and facilitating the delivery of humanitarian assistance as the ASEAN Myanmar. The ASEAN 5-point consensus for Myanmar includes the senses of violence, the establishment of dialogue between all parties, the corporation of ASEAN special envoys, the provision of humanitarian assistance, and allowing the special envoys to visit Myanmar to fulfill their responsibilities. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
The Special Envoy of the ASEAN Chair on Myanmar, Deputy Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn, said that ASEAN has decided to assign the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance on Disaster Management to work with the Myanmar Ministry of Health in a national COVID-19 vaccine campaign. This collaboration will use a 50 out of 50 model, which means that medical staff from ASEAN countries and organizations will send half a team of doctors for the vaccination campaign, while the other half will comprise of doctors from Myanmar. Speaking at a press conference on the afternoon of Friday, 6 April 2022, Deputy Prime Minister Prak Sokhonn confirmed that the decision was to boost vaccination efforts in Myanmar and to make sure that the Myanmar people, especially those in need and living in remote areas, have access to vaccines. He attributed ASEAN's decision to launch this campaign to a lack of medical staff and security concerns in the country, which made many members of the public not feel comfortable going to places where vaccines were offered.
ដើម្បីដោះស្រាយបញ្ហាគឺយើងក៏បានស្នើរូបមន្ត50នេះដោយខាងប្រទេសអ្នកផ្ដល់ជំនួយឬក៏អង្គការអ្នកផ្ដល់ជំនួយហ្នឹងគឺមានចំនួន 50% ហ្នឹងទៅហើយឯបុគ្គលិករបស់ក្រសួងសុខាភិបាលMyanmar មានចំនួន 50% ផងដែរ
He added that in addition, the AHA Center will check the locations of COVID-19 vaccination sites and recommend potential donors and partners to support vaccinations in Myanmar. Vaccination under this condition will be jointly overseen by ASEAN and the Ministry of Health of Myanmar. In addition, Myanmar needs to waive tariffs and work toward other facilitations that could bring vaccines into Myanmar, as well as to facilitate access to vaccinations in areas under the control of ethnic armed groups. To provide ASEAN humanitarian assistance to Myanmar, ASEAN dialogue partners and UN representatives held a full-day meeting on Friday, 6th May, to seek further solutions on the implementation of the ASEAN 5-point consensus and to promote effective assistance. According to Deputy Prime Minister Praksakon, after the ASEAN member meeting, dialogue partners and donors expressed firm commitment to pushing this work forward. The ASEAN 5-point consensus includes the call for an end to violence, the establishment of multilateral dialogue, the acceptance of the coordination of the ASEAN Special Envoy, the provision of humanitarian assistance, and the allowance of the Special Envoy to fulfill their duties and visit Myanmar. Deputy Prime Minister Praksakon also revealed that he will pay a second visit to Myanmar in the coming weeks. The Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Helen Keller International and German Agency for International Cooperation to implement pilot projects that aim to improve the health and nutrition of infants and children in factories. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more details.
On Wednesday, 4th of May, the Minister of Labour, Id Samheng, said that the MOU was valid for 15 months and was signed together with the Helen Keller International County Director, Gwyneth Coates, and Musafa Project Director, Farid Salimi. The MOU was signed in regard to implementation of the pilot projects to improve the health, nutrition and feeding of infants and children in factories in accordance with the rectangular strategy to continue to the productivity as well as being of workers and in turn the Cambodian economy. The Minister said that the project focuses on 18 factories that have a total of 21,166 workers and the will to provide training on the importance of infant and children health and nutrition, as well as children wearing to employees and workers representatives, workers of reproductive age, and workers who are currently pregnant and breastfeeding. At the signing ceremony, Gwyneth Coates stated that Helen Keller International is currently piloting a project to improve the health and nutrition of women and children in a number of factories by supporting in the Giz Musafa project and jointly promoting health, productivity, and the Cambodian economy. The program focuses on educating staff on the importance of health and nutrition, such as the importance of nutrition in health promotion and prevention of various diseases, the benefits of a high nutrient diet, maternity and postpartum health, as well as education on raising infants and young children while working, to ensure that their children are healthy and can grow up to become high potential citizens who will boost the national economy in the future. She added that the project will provide educational materials and equipment such as refrigerators, tables, chairs, fans, breast pumps, hand towels, and hand soap to existing breastfeeding rooms in each of the targeted factories. She also said that the Royal Government of Cambodia has supported the project and will achieve 85% better nutrition and 85% industrial breastfeeding rates by 2030. The Minister of Labour said that he considers the project having made a significant contribution to improving the health and hygiene of women and children. He added that the ministry is developing its services and issuing new standards for more efficiency. He expects the project not only to improve work conditions but also boost the national economy. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
An AN-M66 or AN-M34 type aerial bomb weighing close to 2,000 pounds or 1 ton was found in Phnom Penh on Thursday, 5th May. This discovery was announced by the Director General of the Cambodian Mine Action Center, Heng Ratana. The giant bomb was discovered in the Chaktamuk River near the Soka Hotel in Phnom Penh's Choi Changvar district and opposite the Royal Palace. The CMAC Director General explained that if this ANM-66 bomb had exploded, it would have caused major damage to the surrounding hotels and houses and even the royal palace. He underlined this finding as a great instance of luck for Cambodians. Working closely with Phnom Penh's governor, CMAC bomb experts have transported the unexploded aerial bomb to a safe area for further action to be taken by the CMAC. Cambodia has reported one new COVID-19 case in the local community. There have been 5 new patient recoveries and no new deaths. The kingdom has now recorded 15,819 cases of Omicron, 1,362 imported, and 14,457 community cases. Cambodia's COVID-19 case tally has now climbed to 136,260. The death toll stands at 3,056. The number of patients treated successfully since the pandemic reached Cambodia is 133,172, and the tally for imported cases remains at 21,219. And now for a look at news-making international headlines this Friday, 6th May.
Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief
A third operation is underway to evacuate civilians from Ukrainian port city of Mariupol and the beside-it Azovstal steel plant, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said on Thursday the 5th of May, as Russia accused the West of waging an economic world war. The United Nations and International Committee of the Red Cross has so far helped nearly 500 civilians flee the area during the 2 operations in the past week. At the briefing to the UN Secretary Council, Guterres declined to give details on the new operation to avoid undermining possible success. I hope that his continued cooperation with Moscow and Kyiv will lead to more humanitarian pauses to allow civilians safe passage from the fighting and the aid to reach those in critical need, he told the 15-member council. We must continue to do all we can to get people out of these hellscapes. Guterres has also warned that if the war in Ukraine was putting even more pressure on the developing world. He told the Security Council he was ready to facilitate talks on regulating Ukraine's agricultural production and the food and fertilizer production of Russia and Belarus world markets despite the war. UN Human Relief Chief Michelle Blanchett told the Security Council that for the 5 weeks from the late February in areas around Kyiv, Russian forces targeted male civilians who were considered suspicious. Russia has denied attacking civilians. Men were detained, beaten, summarily executed, and in some cases taken to Belarus and Russia unbeknownst to their families and held in pre-trial detention facilities, she said. Since Russia invaded neighbouring Ukraine on February the 24th in what Moscow calls a special military operation, the United States and Western allies have hit back through tough sanctions. If it is as if you were eagerly awaiting this moment to unleash prescription against Russia, Russian UN Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia told the Council. If we were to talk about world war, then without a doubt it's being waged at economic level today. US Ambassador to United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield accused Russia of lying to the Security Council. Russia alone started this war and Russia alone can end it. Silence the guns, withdraw from Ukraine territory and embrace diplomacy, she said.
At least 3 people were killed in what police suspect was a Palestinian attack in the central cities of Eilat on Thursday. Police investigators and ambulance were at the scenes of attacks on Thursday night, and helicopter flew overhead. Witnesses and emergency responders said the attacker used axe. Police set up roadblocks to try to catch the assailant who fled the scenes about 15 kilometers from Deaville. On television, Eilat mayors urged residents to stay indoors, while security forces were still operating. Health officials said 3 people were killed and 2 others were being treated with serious slash wounds. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas condemned the attacks. The official Palestinian news agency Wafa quoted him as saying, "The killing of Palestinian and Israel civilians will only lead to more deteriorations of the situation." There have been a spate of Arab street attacks in Israel in recent weeks. Prior to Eilat, Palestinians and members of the Arab minority had killed 15 people, including 3 police officers and a security guard, in attacks in Israel and the West Bank that have mostly targeted civilians. Israel has responded with arrests, raids in Palestinian towns and villages which have often sparked clash and brought the numbers of Palestinians killed by Israel forces since the beginnings of the year to at least 40. Early on Thursday, confrontation again broke out between Palestinian and Israel police at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem Old City, though they were far more limited than clashes that had erupted weekly over the past month. Jewish visitors were allowed into the area on Thursday after their entrance to the site had been suspended for the last 10 days of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Al-Aqsa Mosque in Islam's third holiest site. The compound is Judaism's holiest site and the vestige of two ancient Jewish temples.
CCTV cameras in Andover, Kansas have captured a tornado churning through the city. The security camera footage was taken from Andover City Hall on April 29th. It shows the tornado moving closer to the building's parking lot. A powerful low pressure system approached Kansas, allowing a sharp dry line and a track generally along Interstate 135. Storms first developed across the central of northeast Kansas near the warm front, but at the early evenings continued. A couple of storms fired just east of Wichita. One of these storms produced a strong tornado across the east side of Andover, causing extensive damage. This same storm produced numerous additional tornadoes as it tracked east. Residents received warnings from the National Weather Service 8 minutes before the tornado struck. Their quick response and warnings prevented more severe injuries and fatalities, says Charles Haynes, a meteorologist with the service. They sheltered in homes, they sheltered in businesses, they sought shelter at any place they possibly could to get out of the harm's way, he said. No facilities were reported as a result of tornadoes, but over 1,000 buildings were damaged. Storms could continue to fire up, pushing off the northeast. The main threats were hail, damaged winds, and an isolated tornado or two.
A man who said he is a medic treating people in Mariupol's Azovstal steel plant made a video appeal for help to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In the video released on Thursday, the man identified himself as a Crimean Tatar Muslim known by his nom de guerre Hassan. He then appealed to Turkey as Ukraine's neighbor and ally to help evacuate the steelworks. He said, "Recep Tayyip Erdogan, I do not remember which day of the war it is. People are dying, some from wounds, some from starvation. They die in agony because of lack of medication, because of horrible conditions. We have no time. I do not know if there is tomorrow for me. I am a Crimean Tatar, a Muslim. Before the invasion, I completed medical training. Now I give medical help to the wounded at Azovstal. Until the war, I have never faced death. I used to work as an ambulance medic. I helped people the best way I could. It hurts to see how people die in your arms just because there are not enough antibiotics. In 2022, we are permanently under fire from the air, the sea, and the land. My dream is to evacuate all the people, including the military, from the territory of Azovstal. To stop this horror, just 160 kilometers away across the sea from you. People are being killed, people whose only aim is to defend their land, women and children. We have not attacked anyone. You yourself know from your history what it feels like when someone wants to take your land and kill the people. Turkey and Ukraine have always had close relationship and supported each other. You and your country are an important player in the political life of our region. We do not know who else we can write to or address. That is why I appeal to you. I truly believe that you will not leave us alone and that you will help us. I believe that anyone who takes part in helping us will be rewarded." Reuters could not independently verify the authenticity of the video. The man was pictured with men in military uniform on his social media account, and the video of his appeal to Turkey was shared by the far-right founder of the Azov Regiment, Andrei Biletsky. Scores of Ukrainian civilians, including women and children, remained trapped on Thursday in a Mariupol steelworks that has been rocked by heavy explosions as Russian forces fight for control of Ukraine's last stronghold in the ruined port city. The United Nations said a new operation was underway to evacuate more people from Mariupol and the Azovstal steel plant, where an estimated 200 civilians are still holed up in underground bunkers with little food or water. The Azov Regiment began as a battalion of mostly far-right volunteers after Russian-backed separatists seized parts of the eastern Donbas region in 2014. Kyiv later made it a unit of the National Guard and said it was reformed. Russia says destroying the group is a key war aim. Almost 3 times as many people have died as a result of COVID-19 as official data show, according to a new World Health Organization report, the most comprehensive look at the true global toll of the pandemic so far.
There were 14.9 million excess deaths associated with COVID-19 by the end of 2021, the UN body said on Thursday, 5th of May. The official count of deaths directly attributed to COVID-19 and reported to WHO in this period, from January 2020 to the end of December 2021, is slightly more than 5.4 million. The WHO's excess mortality figures reflected people who died of COVID-19 as well as those who died as an instant result of an outbreak, including people who could not access healthcare for other conditions when symptoms were overwhelming during the huge waves of the infection. It also accounts for deaths averted during the pandemic, for example, because of lower risk in traffic accidents during lockdowns. But the numbers are also far higher than the official tally because of the deaths that were missed in countries without adequate reporting. Even pre-pandemic, around the 6 to 10 deaths around the world were not registered, WHO said. The WHO report said that almost half of the deaths that until now had been counted were in India. The report suggests that 4.7 million people died there as a result of the pandemic, mainly during the huge surge in May and June 2021. The Indian government, however, puts its death toll in January 2020, December 2021, the period of lower, about 480,000. WHO said it had not yet fully examined the new data provided this week by India, which has pushed back against the WHO estimates and issued its own mortality figures for all cases of death in 2020 on Tuesday. WHO said it may be a disclaimer to report highlighting the ongoing conversation with India. In a statement issued after numbers were published, the Indian government said WHO had released a report without adequately addressing Indians' concerns over what is called questionable methods. The WHO panel made up international experts who have been working on the data for months, used a combination of national and local information, as well as statistics models, to estimate totals where data is incomplete, a methodology that India has criticised. However, other independent assessments have also put the death toll in India far higher than the official government tally, including a report published in Science which suggests that 3 million people may have died of COVID in the country. Other models have also reached similar conclusions about the global death toll being far higher than the recorded statistics. For comparison, around 50 million people have thought to have died with the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, and 36 million have died of the HIV since the epidemic began in 1980s. Samara Asma, WHO Assistant Director General for Data, Analytics and Delivery for Impact, who co-led the calculation process, said data was that lively blood of public health, needed to access and learn from what happened during the pandemic.
Too much is unknown and there is too much delays in getting life and death information.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine has devastated hundreds of hospitals and other institutions and left doctors without drugs to tackle cancer or the ability to perform surgery, President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Thursday, 5th of May.
Zelensky, in a video addressed to a Brave Ukraine fundraising event being held in the UK, said many places lack even basic antibiotics in eastern and southern Ukraine, the focal points of the fighting. Zelensky said, if we take only the medical infrastructures, to date Russians have destroyed or damaged almost 400 health facilities. These are hospitals, maternity hospitals, outpatient clinics, in the temporarily occupied area of Ukraine in the east and south. The situation with access only medical services and medicine is just catastrophe. Even the simplest medications are missing. Russia has brought to Ukraine and Europe such a problem that we could not have imagined a few months ago. Also, the evacuation of civilians from the besieged port cities of the Mariupol had continued on Thursday, but did not say how many people had managed to leave. He also said Russian forces were still storming and selling the city of Azovstal plant, where civilians and military forces are sheltering. Zelensky added that the rebuilding of Ukraine should be a historic example, and investment from other countries will mean that millions of Ukrainians who were forced to leave by the war will be able to return home. We offer our partner, civilized and responsible country, to take patronage over those regions, over those cities, and over those sectors of Ukraine which have been affected by the war launched by Russia, Zelensky added.
After the break, a look at all the latest sports news.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Red Bull's Max Verstappen can take another big bite out of Ferrari rival Charles Leclerc's 27-point lead in Miami this weekend as Formula One gets ready to rock around its newest venue.
The pair have won twice each this season, and the fifth round on the fast track laid out around the Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Miami Dolphin NFL team, could see another big battle between the 24-year-old frontrunner. Verstappen was dominant at the Imola in Italy 2 weeks ago, when he won a Saturday sprint from poles and lead from start to finish on Sunday, while also taking a bonus point for the fastest lap. The last Leclerc led from a previous 34 points, and the Ferrari driver will be keen to hit back strongly after the team failed to live up to expectations in front of the home crowd. Struggling Mercedes, the team of 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, who finished a lowly 13th at Imola, will be similarly fired up, even if they still have somewhat lower expectations. Hamilton has a great record in the United States, and Mercedes are hoping for clear signs of progressing in taming their bouncing car, so it can go faster and finally start to reveal its hidden potential. McLaren, with Britain Lando Norris on the podium at Imola, and Australian Daniel Ricciardo will also fancy their chances of strong points. The race is a sellout with 240,000 expected over the 3 days and a capacity 82,500 on Sunday, with the sport promising a cast of celebrity guests and a Super Bowl-style atmosphere. In an attempt to capture the Miami vibe, organizers have created a stimulated marina with a dry dock yard and a boarded surface, creating the impressions of the waters for the television cameras.
With just 200 days left until the start of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2022, the famous World Cup trophy is touring across the region and Qatar.
Fans and families were excited to attend the event on Thursday, 5th of May, as they snapped pictures and selfies next to the trophy and took part in soccer-related activities. The trophy is touring Qatar during the Eid holidays from May 5th until the 10th. It will be popping up in different tourist hotspots to mark the 200-day countdown to the World Cup finals here. People attending the event voiced their excitement for the upcoming tournament. It's been a dream to witness the FIFA 2022, said Maria Wilmer, an Indian expat who has been in Qatar for 10 years and went to her family to the event. The Gulf state will host the first World Cup in the Middle East, the first in Muslim state, and no other tournament has ever been held in Northern Hemisphere winter. Qatar, which is roughly the size of Jamaica, is also the smallest country to hold soccer's biggest event, with fans from 32 competing nations set to watch the games in 8 stadiums clustered around the only major city, Doha. On the plus side, that means supporters will be able to easily reach all venues, raising the possibility of watching more than one match in a day, in contrast to recent tournaments in Russia and Brazil, where flights were often needed to travel in each venue city.
And now for a look at how the weather will be playing out tomorrow. And finally, artist Kunle Adewale is bringing virtual reality to old folks' homes in Nigeria, allowing the elderly to listen and watch some of their favorite musicians and music videos through VR headsets. At the elderly care home in Lagos, Nigeria, 77-year-old Onatolo Onajobi wears a virtual reality headset to watch music videos of some of his favorite musicians. Onajobi used to be a disc jockey in his heyday and says the VR unit has helped him connect with music more intimately than ever before.
It looked as if I was watching Richard on stage. It gave me a feeling I can never forget.
Onajobi is not enjoying the joyful experience alone. Fellow elderly care home client Moradeo Ajibade is also filled with joy and nostalgia after trying on the VR unit.
I've never even seen this VR before, but this is my first time of using it. That's why I stood up and began dance. When the music entered my brain, it changed my swagger.
Kunle Adewale is an artist who focuses on what he refers to as therapeutic art projects. The 40-year-old founded Tender Arts Nigeria in 2013, a non-profit social enterprise that has carried out initiatives in India, Nigeria, South Africa, and other African countries. After the death of his parents, Adewale decided to make helping seniors live the rest of their lives in happiness a priority.
The virtual reality stuff is more the gaming thing for the youth. But there's so much potential that it can offer in the place of health and improving their well-being and their health status as well. So that is why I started this. And beyond that as well, I feel like the virtual reality can help seniors to really, in place of mental health and also in the place of brain health as well. Some of these elderly ones actually have dementia, which is known as memory loss as well. But what is important is that the virtual reality can help them to connect maybe with a popular musician they grew up knowing or listening to. So reliving that moment, reliving that experience and finding expression, being able to dance and move their bodies in a way that it just makes them happy in that moment. And it's fine. It might be short, but it's important for them.
While these VR experiences can't quite replace visits by family and short trips outside the home, Adewale's project is a safe way to put smiles on faces and get people dancing.
Sometimes the seniors get to experience this virtual reality and it seems that they can't get out of it. It's like they find themselves in the world, in their own world. They stay longer, they want to stay there forever.
Adewale and many others who operate in the VR space say use of the technology got a boost during the pandemic and the restrictions that have come with it. Adewale's Art in Medicine project also supports people living with sickle cell anemia. Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, you can check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Smart TV, Telegram, or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We will see you then.